Yeah, very good afternoon to one and all. And in today's class, I am going to deliver about Lex. And before going to learn about syntax analyzer, first just I'm briefing out what the Lex is. And Lex is a tool we already known. Lex is an automated tool that we used in an generating of an lexical analyzers. Right. See, see the slide once, all of you. Here I shared the compilation sequence. Why? Because we already learned the first phase of the compiler in the last classes, and we understand what the lexical analyzer is, and we understand how the lex tool was implemented to generate the sequence of tokens. And just briefing out what the lex is, again I'm repeating all these. Right. This is an compilation sequence for the lexical analyzer. See here what the source code is. What the source code is? A is equal to B plus C into D. A is equal to B plus C into D. That is the source code. And after implementing the lexical analyzer, what the output we are generating here? ID1 is equal to ID2 plus ID3 into ID4. What it mean? The each and individual character that we are calling it as an lexeme that is converted into its equivalent token, right? A is converted into ID1, B is converted into ID2, C is converted into ID3, and D is converted into ID4. And these are all are an sequence of tokens from the given sequence of characters in the form of source code, right? And now here we're having a question, what is lex? What is a lex? What is the main job of the lex in an lexical analyzer? See the slide, all of you. Here we're having the answer for that question. What is a lex? What is a lex? Lex is nothing but a tool. A tool. And here the specification of lex is in the form of an regular expression. The specification that we are using as an regular expression. And what we are doing with this lex, by using the lex tool, what we are doing, we are generating the sequence of tokens. See here the slide consisting of 2 points. See what the first point is. The main job of the lexical analyzer. Lexical analyzer can also be called as a scanner. And what the main job of the scanner is? To break up an input stream into elements. Those are called as an tokens. And here what the input stream is? A is equal to B plus C into D. See how the tokens are generated? ID, because it is an is equal to operate, that is an assignment operator, assign. Again the B is an character ID, plus is plus, and C is an character ID, and the multiplication operator mul, and D is an, again it is an identifier ID, and semicolon semi, right? And these are the tokens. These are the tokens from the input A is equal to B plus C into D. And lex is an utility from an Unix. Lex is an utility from an Unix. And it helps you rapidly generate your scanners. And this is the most important point. Lex is an Unix utility. Make a note of this. Lex is an Unix utility. And by using this Unix utility like an lex, it helps you rapidly generate your scanners. And here are having some other points about the lexical analyzers. And these lexical analyzers are tokenized into input streams. And these tokens are the terminals of a language. And for example, while coming to the English language, we are calling them as an words, punctuation marks, and so on. And while coming to the programming language, we are calling them as an identifiers, operators, keywords, and so on. And always the regular expressions defines the terminals in the form of tokens. And we all know, we are all familiar with the concept like in derivation trees, right? Derivation trees. To derive an input string, and what the rules that we are following there, to derive the input string from the given context free grammar. If you know about the derivation trees, if you know about the concept of derivation trees, it is clear to you how to generate the terminals, in the form of tokens. See here, this is a Lex program, and the Lex program is from a Lex source is a table of regular expressions and corresponding program fragments. And we all know the Lex program. In the last class, I explained the program for the concept of how to write the specification file. We are having a question like that: how to write a specification file, and for that question, I gave an answer by making you clearly understand with an example, right? I show you the Lex program and how the Lex program is divided into 3 sections, and in the declaration what we are going to declare, in the transitions what type of rules that we are translating there, and while coming to the procedure section there, I explain you how to write the procedures in the form of comment section. All these are all I explained in specification file, how to write an specification file. If you have a question like that, how to write in specification file, and the answer is in the form of an Lex program, the specification file that we are writing in the form of an Lex program, right? See, this is an Lex source program. What the Lex source program consisting of? The regular expressions and the corresponding program fragments. See here, we're having an example. We're having an example here. See the example ones. What the regular expression here is: letter into letter or digit whole star. That is the regular expression. And these are the program fragments, corresponding program fragments for that particular expression. And here the Lex source to C program. How we are converting the Lex source to C program? See here, the table is translated into a C program with lex.yy.c, which reads an input stream. And what the lex.yy.c file consisting of? It reads an input stream, and it's partitioning the input into strings which match the given expression, and copying it to an output stream if necessary. And these are the things that are done by the Lex source to C program. Make a note of these points. See, at the concept of generating an lexical analyzer with Lex, and there in the step number two, at step number 1, what we are generating an output, the output in the form of an lex.yy.c. Once you revise back in step number 1, the source in the form of an lex.l. After compiling with Lex compilers, the output is in the form of an lex.yy.c, right? And by taking an input lex.yy.c, and after performing the C compilation, because that is converted into a C program, that is translated into a C program. Now, by using the C compilers, after performing the compilation, then we are producing an a.out object file, right? A.out, which is an object file. And that output file reads an input streams, and finally it generates an output stream in the form of tokens. This is an overview of Lex, and initially Lex program with an extension of .l, and by using the Lex compilers, the output is lex.yy.c, and giving an C program, and by using the C compilers, the output that produces is a.out, and giving an input streams to an a.out, and getting an output in the form of an tokens. This is nothing but an generating an lexical analyzer with Lex. This is an overview of the Lex. And this is a Lex source. As I already explained, 3 sections. The first one is a declaration section. The second one is an translation section. And the third one is an procedure section, which is an optional. It should not be a mandatory section. The subroutines, that means user subroutines, in the sense here we're declaring the procedures. Here we're defining the procedures. That we can calling as an procedure section, which is an optional section. And the declaration, that is a definition, and the translation rules, these two are the most important mandatory sections in the Lex program. This is the Lex source that is divided into 3 sections. And always those 3 are defined with a delimiter. See here, this representation is a delimiter representation. See, we're separating this section and this section with this delimiter, and separating this section and this section with this delimiter, right? Why I am explaining all this again, why I am revising all this again means, the next concept is about an scanner generator. That means parser generator. Sorry, a parser generator. After learning the scanner generator, now we are going to learn about how the parser generator is going to be implemented. Parser generator is going to be implemented. We implement a lexical analyzer by using the Lex tool. Now in the next unit, that is the second unit, the second unit is an syntax analyzer. And now we are implementing this ACT tool. We are implementing this ACT tool. We are using this ACT tool for performing the syntax analyzers. That means to implement the syntax analyzers and generating the abstract syntax trees. To generate the abstract syntax trees, what the tool that we are using here is at another compiler compiles. This is a tool that we are going to use in syntax analyzers to generate the parsers. Make a note. And we already completed the concept, that is a lexical analyzer. We all understand what the lexical analyzer is. After learning about the lexical analyzer, we get an ability of understanding what the lexical analyzer is, what the inputs that we are taking, and what is a token, what is an lexeme, what is a pattern, and how the role of lexical analyzer is performed, and what is a regular expression, and how to draw the transition diagrams for the inputs like an identifiers or unsigned symbols or any other delimiters, or for and relational operators means, and regular expression, the transition diagram for the regular expressions that we already known, representing an transition diagram for the regular expressions we already known. Why? Because it was already learnt in an last semester in the course like an formal language and automata theory. But here what we are doing, taking the input in the form of an transition diagrams for the constructed regular expressions, how we are generating the lexemes, and from the lexemes how we are generating the stream of tokens, right? These are all known. We all understand all these concepts. And just I'm briefing out by, again I'm repeating the concepts of Lex. And here we're having a question that Lex versus ACK. Give some differences between the Lex and ACK. Lex is a tool and ACK is a tool. These two are the most important tools that were used for building the compilers. The name of these tools are building tools of the compilers. We can also call them as an building tools of the compiler. See here we're having 2 points in Lex and 2 points in ACK. Lex generates C code for a lexical analyzer, as we already seen in generating an lexical analyzer. At the concept of generating an lexical analyzer in a 3-step process, we already seen that. And Lex generates C code for a lexical analyzer or scanner. Lex uses patterns that match strings in the input and converts the strings to tokens, right? By knowing the definition of what the token is, what the pattern is, what the lexemes is, and knowing how to converting the sequence of characters into sequence of tokens. These two are implemented by using this tool. These 2 points are implemented by using this tool. What it means is, what the first phase of the compiler is, first you need to scan. Yes, by using this we perform scan. We perform an scanner. And next thing is, what the next phase is, doing an lexical analysis. Doing an lexical analysis. Yes, we perform a lexical analysis by using the lex tool. And what we implemented here, taking the input in the form of an lexemes and converting them into an tokens, right? The implementation or the automation of the lex tool is completed by performing these 2 steps, right? Are you all clear? This concept is completed in the last classes about an lex. Now we are going to learn a new concept, that is about an syntax analyzer. And what is a syntax analyzer, what the role of syntax analyzer is, and how the syntax analyzer is, how the performance of the syntax analyzer taken place, and what the tool that we are using to implement the syntax analyzer, and how it is useful for the syntax and for generating the parsers. So these are all the questions that we're having before learning about the concept syntax analyzer. For that, I'm explaining this. See, here we're having an ACK. ACK is an at another compiler compiles. This is an tool. This is one of the building tool that we are using for generating the parsers. And again, I'm recalling that what the specification that we are using in lexical analyzers. It is an regular expression, underline this. And here, what the specification that we are going to implement, what the specification that we are using in this ACK, that is an syntax analyzer, context-free grammar. Context-free grammar, make a note of this. In the lex, we are using regular expressions. In ACK, we need to use context-free grammars, right? See, what the first point is, ACK generates the C code for a syntax analyzer or a parser. In the both the tools, what we are going to generate a C code, right? And what the second point is, it uses grammars. It uses grammars. What it means is the specification should be in an context-free grammar, and that rules are allowed it to analyze the tokens from lex and create a syntax tree. Here the output that we are generating by using the tool like an ACK is an abstract syntax tree, or it can also be called as an parser, right? Is it clear? See the representations of lex and ACK. If the lex with ACK, or if you see the slide, you can clearly understand. This is what about the lex source I already explained to you, and you all understand about this. And this is about ACK. This is about ACK, what we are going to learn in further classes. This is the concept that we are going to learn in next classes. ACK, lexical rules, grammar rules, and ACK. What the output here? It is an C code C compiler. It is also an C code C compilers. And what the function that we are generating here? YYLex, YY parser. See, by seeing the last representation, what you are understanding? Giving an input, performing the lexical analyzer, generating an output, and that output is taken as an input to the parser. And after performing the parser, and finally we are generating an parsed output, right? Right. Is it clear by seeing the structure, by seeing the representations of lex with ACK? This is lex, this is ACK. Both are the building tools of the compilers. Using the lex, we are generating an C code. Using the ACK, we are generating an C code. No doubt in that. and the output in the form of a stream of tokens, the output in the form of an parser, syntax tree, right? And now what the regular expressions are? Regular expressions in lexical analyzers. Just here we're having some representations, some notations in the regular expressions. Once you all see this and get some idea, you will get some idea by seeing all this. These are all nothing regular expressions. We can also call as an extended regular expression. Extended regular expression. See, the operators, the character classes, arbitrary classes, optional expressions, alternation and grouping, context sensitivity, repetitions and definitions, all these are all comes under the extended regular expressions in an lex. Regular expression always matches a set of strings. We all know the definition of an regular expression. Always matches a set of strings. And these are some of the expressions that we are having. Now we are seeing one by one. Operators are, these are all comes under an operators. Please all of you see the slide. Slash, square brackets, parenthesis, star, plus, less than, greater than. All these are all comes under an operators, lex operators. Lex operators. Right. Character classes. Whatever we are representing in square brackets, those are all comes under the character classes. The representation of the character classes is in this way. In this way we are representing. This is the representation of character classes. A, B, C matches a single character which may be an A, comma B or C. Right. For example, here we are having the examples A, B, A or B, Z. It may be an or Z. Digits and the two signs plus and minus. Any character which is not a letter. All these are all comes under the character classes. This is an arbitrary character. Dot, full stop. Dot operator. These dot operators we can call as an arbitrary characters. Except the new line, we can call it as an arbitrary character. Dot. If we're having like this, square open square bracket slash 40 minus slash 176. What it means is it matches all the printable characters in the ASCII character set from octal 40 to octal 176. Right. These are all optional and repeated. A question mark, A star, A plus. We know what the star, it is in clean closure. We know what is in plus, it is in positive closure. And now what the question mark is. 0 or 1 instance of A. 0 or more, it is an star representation. 1 or more instance of A, it is an plus representation. Is it clear? These two can be called as, comes under the closures, properties of the closure. One is in positive and another one is in clean. And the question mark representation is an 0 or 1 instance of A. And here we're having an example C, AB question mark C. That means AC or ABC. We can take it as an AC or ABC. And if we're having like this A to Z plus means 1 or more instance of A. That means all the strings of lowercase letters. We can take it one time or more time. If we are having like this star representation, all the alphanumeric strings with a leading alphabet character. Precedence of operators. See here, the level of precedence is the first one is an clean closure, and then it is an question mark, and then it is an positive closure, and next it is an concatenation, and next it is an alternation. See here we are having an example. All the operators are left associative operators. All the, make a note of this. All operators are should be an left associative operators. For example, here we are having the representation of left associative operators. Make a note of this. This comes under the concept like an precedence of operators. And pattern matching primitives. See, if we're having an meta character like an dot, what it means, what it matches to. Any character except new line, /n. What it means is 0 or more copies of the preceding expression, star, 1 or more copies of the preceding expression if it is in plus, 0 or 1 copy of the preceding expression, and it is in question mark, beginning of the line, or it may be in complement. And if it dollar $A or B, and A or B, 1 or more copies of AB, grouping, AB plus A or B, AB, 3 instances of A. Like that, we're having some pattern matching primitives. So these are all default primitives. We are not defining these default primitives that we are using. These are the transition rules which I already explained about the lex source and about the transition rules. If you want to reject any line, any rule, then we can use like this. If you want to reject any rule, we can write an action like this. Means for this rule I can ping, this is associated with an action, this one. Whatever we are writing in an braces. Whatever we are writing in an braces, that consisting of an action associated with that particular rule. Action associated with that particular rule. See here we're having 4 special options in the transition rules. One is an echo, one is an begin, and one is an reject. Right. See, for unmatched tokens, default action is an echo. For beginning of the translations, begin. If you want to reject any action, then we can use and reject lines. And here we're having some lex predefined variables. See what the predefined variables are. YY text, YY length, YY in, YY out. These are all the predefined, lex predefined variables. Right. Once all of you see the slide and once all of you read on this, what the YY text is, what YY length is, and what YY in is, YY out is, input and output. And if you want to specify the length of the lexeme by using this, and if you want to specify the string containing the lexeme, and you need to use this predefined functions, YY text. Right. See here, we're having an example here. It is an A to Z plus printf YY text, because A to Z is an string. A to Z is an string. The lexemes that containing an string. See why here we define an echo. What the meaning of an echo is? A to Z, it is an echo. What it means is, echo means, see here, we already defined what the echo is. Echo is an, what the echo is an unmatched token is using a default action that echo from the input to the output. This is a special option that we are using here. This is a special option that we are using here. So we are using here, we are using in this example. And these are the lex predefined variables. And here we're having some lex library routines, like YYLex is a function. It is in a default function where it calls and contains a call of YYLex. YY more returns the next token. YYS of n is n characters. Means retain the first n characters in the YY text. Wrap. Whenever the lex reaches an end of file, the default this function always return the value 1. Right. These are the Lex library routines. And here we're having some of the Lex predefined variables. Just see all those on what the name of that particular variable, predefined variable, and what the function it is going to be done. Function that is performed by that particular predefined variable char into yy text int, pointer to match its string length of yy length file into yin. These are some of the Lex predefined variables. Just I am briefing out what the Lex regular expressions are, right? And whatever we learned in an concept of regular expression in formal language and automata theory is differ in using the regular expressions in lexical analyzers, right? To show you the difference between the regular expression in formal language and automata theory and the regular expression that we are using in lexical analyzer, that's why I am showing you all these slides to make you clear understand about what the regular expressions and the lex consisting of. These are the user subroutine section. Here you will use the lex routines in the same way you use user routines, same in other programming languages, right? The usage, you all know how to implement the lex. Initially, the source program is saved with an .l extension file, right? Lex scanner .l. For example, you can use x.l file. That is a source file in a Lex program. And then next, to compile the C program, this is the command that we are using for compilation. This is the command that we are using for the compilation. And to run the lexical analyzer, this is the command that we are using for running the Lex program, right? Initially, with the .l extension, we need to save the file. After writing the program, we need to save the file with an .l extension. What it means is it comes under an Lex source file. And then after, before running the program, we need to compile it, right? And then by using this command, we need to compile. And after performing the compilation, then finally we need to run to get an output. And for that, we are using this command for running the Lex program. And this is the way of creating an file, compiling an file, and finally running an file in an Lex program. And see here we're having different versions of Lex. AT&T is and Lex, GNU, Flex, all these are all different machines. So Lex on different machines is not created equal. These are the different versions that we are having for the tool like an Lex tool. Right? Are you all clear about the today's concept? Today's concept is about Lex and ACK. What it means is already we understand what the Lex is. Already we know what the lexical analyzer is. Just by revising the concept, what the Lex is, just by comparing the Lex and the ACK, comparing this Lex with ACK. Why? Because further in the next classes, we are going to learn about an syntax analyzer. Before knowing about an syntax analyzer, first we need to know what the tool that we are using for implementing the syntax analyzers. So for that, in today class, I show you the difference between the Lex and the ACK. And in detail of the ACK, I will explain in the next classes after completion of the syntax analyzer concepts. And after completion of syntax analyzer concepts, I will explain in detail about the ACK tool. And in today class, I deliver in detail about the Lex tool and how the regular expressions in Lex are, right? And these are the topics that I covered in today's session. I think you all are clear about this class. And in the next class, and knowing about the concept syntax analyzers, in that syntax analyzer, we're learning about role of parsers. I'm delivering the role of parser in the next class, which comes under the concept of an syntax analyzer.